that is just clearly a threat from them.
Yeah.
So SUNSPARK's taking their time right now. Oh, they banned their own Kufra.
They banned their own Kufra. This is interesting. This really tells me that they want to secure the first
Yes,
Harith.
this is clearly the Harith.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're singing.
They're singing. They're singing.
Oh, yeah.
Renjo is having
there you go. Geo
Okay, there you
Esports
go,
know
there
it
you go.
perfectly well. Having the Esmeralda and Kufra out of contention means the Harith
Yeah.
is a free hero.
Yeah,
But then again, Hylos is available. Gronk is available.
Yeah.
SUNSPARKs surely will want to have that.
Team Geo said, "Hey, we've seen the VODs, man. We've seen the VODs. Don't go for that, Harith." All right, but Hylos is open, like what you've said. Like this, yeah, of course. And high loss should be high win right now.
Oh yeah.
Because since day one has been winning and owning all of the teams, popping that immediate disengage, going for the glorious pathway, layering it up with the revitalize.
And of course, Coach Leather
Goods. The
All's
big
good.
guy. All's good.
With Leather Goods.
All's good with Leather Goods. Shout out to him. There you go. That is the support for the side of Team SUNSPARK. So, Team Geo Esports, they need to answer with a burst damage or probably mobility. Here, of course, with the Masha and the Gronk.
Thams is a natural answer from SUNSPARKs. Now they're considering, will they get the Kimi or will they get something like a Chango? Instead, they will go for the Kaja this time.
No.
Don't want to give it away to Geo Esports.
Yep. Okay.
Geo Esports will now have to decide. Is it the Kimi? Is it the Chango this time?
Yeah.
Geo Esports definitely want to use one of those meta heroes right now.
I
think the revealing the Kimi
early is not good.
Not that good.
It's not that good. I don't like the Kimi as well in the lineup of Geo because you have 3 heroes from SUNSPARKs. Two heroes from SUNSPARKs is of course an immediate answer to that Kimi pick. Of course, you have the dive from the Kaja and the Glorious Pathway engage from this Hylos, but they will answer for with Alilia, hoping to get that outplay from the Black Shoes.
Wow. This is interesting because Geo Esports are gonna put up the tempo. They're setting up for this Masha. So what they do is have these killer playmakers like the Gronk and the Gronk and this Lilia. They will pair it up with a very good offlaner, maybe a Leo Mort to go with it, so that they can, or maybe actually a safe lane Hellcurt will not sound bad.
Not sound bad, yes.
You know, the Kimi is also a fast tempo marksman, that's why they will ban it out.
Your team is picking.
The Claude is open here.
Gonna go Chango.
Chango. Okay, so they will not go for the Claude now.
Yeah. SUNSPARKs, what is their answer? They don't necessarily can take the Baksha or the Lolita. That's why the Chango is in many tournaments before. I think in the Philippines, this is also a famous strategy where you get this Chango with the Masha, 2 defenders, big tanks that can protect you so that you can siege. The idea here is to siege against your opponents. What do I mean by siege? You just stay in lane and constantly pummel your opponents with damage from long distance, protect your cores, and maybe take the turrets while that is happening.
While that is happening, of course, the Masha will do that.
But the Masha is Geo Esports. It'll be up to them on how they will control the map this time. Control the tempo. They are the ones who are required to set the pace. SUNSPARK, they can sit back and relax, just take whatever they can, and have this Granger be that heavy marksman in the mid and late game.
You're definitely right. JP will be using the vision right here. He does want blood. He clearly wants blood because of this Mystic Shop. But look at this, the threat from those magical spears, and that is the Deadly Gloom. First blood for Geo Esports.
And like you said, the tempo, the early game tempo for Geo Esports is actually pretty scary this time. SUNSPARKs, how can they defend? It's gonna be KelPJ up top with the Thams, Reflesha with the Hylos, JP with the Gushan, Fuzaken with this Kaja, Renjo on now. Actually, interestingly, Renjo will be the one to play this Granger.
Granger, that is a U-Mobile replay right there. JP clearly underestimating the early game threat from this Lilia, which is now used by June. Was is using the Gronk. Libra is using the Masha. Homies as this Chango, and Aura as the Lolita.
Oh, now, Manjin, it's gonna be really scary for GOE, for SUNSPARKs.
Right? Right?
Because it's not the easiest to run up against Geo
Yeah.
Esports.
Alright, of course, guys, that is the redemption code right there in your screens right now.
You just head on to
Just head on to,
mobilegends.com/en/code
Code
exchange.
exchange.
Put in the
That
redemption code with your ID.
Yeah.
You will get the chance, of course.
To win
Channel
something.
resurrected.
Win something,
To win
bro.
some bonus. But okay, back to the game. Both of the teams having the same plan. Just removing the first tier 1. This is clearly there's a transition to the mid game. But unfortunately for SUNSPARKs, the turtle did land in the top lane. So Geo Esports having the advantage right now. They do have the buffs right here.
What a
2-man
wild
up.
charge.
Wild charge. That is of course a Dead Sonata shield.
Oh, what a sidestep with the Numino Blast now. Reflesha is in trouble. There is going to be the ring coming out of the Hylos, but it will not be enough to save him. It's going to be the meteor shower to fend up the members of SUNSPARKs, and they are going to be able to run away.
And this is Geo Esports.
Nice steal as well.
Yeah, Geo Esports doing what we've said earlier, the map control and the map rotation. Unfortunately for SUNSPARKs, they met up in the bush unexpectedly. Met up in the bushes with Team Geo, and of course the extra proc of damage for June gave them the opportunity to get that fight, and nice usage of the Bulwark Shield coming in from Aura to neglect extra damage coming in from the Dead Sonata.
Geo Esports, they have very, very, very strong early game potential in terms of team fights. And I don't think that SUNSPARKs can fight against them head-on 5v5 unless, of course, SUNSPARKs are able to manage to dissect the members of Geo Esports.
Yes.
But in terms of a head-on collision, I would give my money to Geo Esports.
Okay.
In terms of winning it, as was actually commits a wild charge.
Yeah, he committed a wild charge. That was clearly a mistake. He does want to get the Kaja.
again.
But this is clearly a bait and ambush for the side of Geo Esports. That is a
Oh
course
my
pathway
goodness.
right there. But what Gushen, I'm so sorry, SUNSPARKs with an outplay.
Yeah, definitely an outplay. They used the Glorious Pathway to fend off the other members of Geo Esports, separating Aura from the rest of the team, and Fuzaken with the timely usage of the Divine Judgment. Nice block into the wild charge. Flesha goes down with the meteor shower in there, but of course, the retaliation. JP gets the one with the help of the Kaja. This time the Rhapsody is gonna connect. The Lilia goes down. No black shoes for ya.
The black shoes was not enough to save the life of Mr. June, as SUNSPARKs will now go to the turtle. Let's look at the replay. This is clearly the power of the Django, but again, as we've said, in terms of damage output, you layer up the Rondo and you combo it with the Shadow Blade Slaughter. Quite a huge damage output there for Team SUNSPARKs, and that will give them a huge oomph in their income.
You know what? This is what makes JP one of the scariest Gushans out there. He's very calculated in terms of his move. He knows exactly when he needs to dive and when he will not be able to get the kill. This is going to be the conceal, the flicker, the Divine Judgment. The combo will not be enough to take them down. The Numino Blast connects on the 2. Meteor shower against the Gushan. Gushan goes down. The Glacier, however, blocked by the Bulwark. What a play from Geo Esports.
Blocked by Aura.
SUNSPARKs. My goodness.
Blocked by Aura right there. SUNSPARKs miscalculated. And that is clearly a win for Team Geo Esports. Quite a nice move right there from JP and Fuzaken.
Oh man.
But again, you are dealing with a Lilia and of course, a Lolita.
The Lolita defense,
So you need to probably bait first the block, the Bulwark Shield. If you are Renjo.
That is one thing you can say for sure. But Renjo, it's not about Renjo not calculating against Geo Esports. It's more about his aura playing so well. In terms of guarding his teammates. If you 1v1 LVJ against Libra, a little bit of disarm in there, but of course the Masha has been fended off. In the middle, there's a little bit of siege. They stun up the Kaja this time as they take on the turret as well.
There you go.
Looking for an opening, this time the Glorious Pathway from behind.
Yes, you're definitely right. Who will take the turtle? Was is here, the only one left. That is a meteor shower from the side. Fuzaken will
revitalized.
But a Numino blast onto two. Clutch start right there from the Lolita, Mr. Aura. The Rhapsody is indeed real, but again, raise your shield, Aura. It is the main weapon for Geo Esports to get 3 kills against SUNSPARK.
SUNSPARK did not respect Geo Esports at all. We were mentioning about this. They cannot fight head-on, even when there is a very good glorious pathway and they are overly committed to the fight. Rencho, with his position, is actually pretty good. Unfortunately, there was just not enough. The damage output coming out from this Chango, who is actually playing so well in terms of positioning, was more than enough. Look at this. Homies not even touched by SUNSPARKs.
You're definitely right. SUNSPARKs disrespecting the immortality from Mr. Aura. And man, what's interesting here, like, if SUNSPARKs initiates with a Divine Judgment, Geo Esports is immediately there in their faces.
Turtle
Exactly.
resurrecting soon.
Now again, there's gonna be the Death Sonata committed as they take out the turret up top. There is gonna be the stun,
There you
the
go.
Hylas in the middle.
There you go.
Of course, the Domino Blast is gonna be cast the Glorious Pathway from behind. They only connect on the 1-meter shower.
There you
It's
go.
not gonna be enough. Look at this refresh
There
attack.
were the
So
Hylas.
much JP's here. And of course, the Granger with the Rhapsody not hitting anyone actually. But Aura
There-
puts up the shields once again.
There's no target on both of the teams, but Reflesha will be the one falling down, so as Aura. 5-8 is the score, and this is it. A one-on-one with a
no.
great one. You don't go one-on-one with a mashup player. 9-5, Geo Esports coming back from this game.
VJ know that he will win the fight against the mashup, but what he forgot was the turtle buff. It was available in Libra that gave them the extra damage against the Thams. The Thams couldn't survive even through the Contract Inferno. My goodness.
Besides the turtle damage, you do have the high and dry on this mashup. Plus, of course, the lead in terms of items. So man, what a clutch play coming in from Geo Esports.
Leading by 6,000. Yeah, they are doing it perfectly well. We mentioned about their early game, and it's really coming into fruition for Geo Esports. It's going to be up to them on how they will capitalize with this lead, but I'm pretty confident that they will be going up against SUNSPARKs in their faces for the next few minutes.
As we are now looking in the items. Immortality, of course, for the Lolita. Ice Queen wand from Chango and the Glowing Wand as well. Both of these core heroes having a huge amount of slows, and of course the extra proc from the magic penetration. Here we go. They do want Mr. Refresher right here. That is the glorious battery, as we've said.
My goodness.
A free bowling alley for Horus to land all of those meteor showers. 5-11, Geo Esports knocking at the doors.
And
This
they
is
will-
Brazil, man. Welcome to Brazil.
Welcome to Brazil. Now, SUNSPARKs, how can they defend against an angry sieging line of Geo Esports from long distance? They are able to take out the Thams this time. And the siege potential from Geo Esports is just way too much. They're overwhelming SUNSPARKs at this point, and there's nothing that they can do. SUNSPARKs, they need more time. But Geo Esports, they will not let that happen. They're knocking now towards the Lord area.
Here we go, Geo Esports. Nick Fury is not here, but the shield is their main weapon.
Libra, look at how fast the turbo masha once again taking out objective, and now the Hylas is down. There is gonna be a good, actually, a grok block from Geo Esports, but they will not push through as the bottom lane is now compromised.
That is-
SUNSPARKs. This is a 4 versus 5.
That is the Duran string, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Team Geo Esports, they do want to finish this. Man, Aura with a huge amount of prayers. And that is a mega kill coming in from Horus. 4 heroes falling down for SUNSPARKs. This is Geo Esports, and game 1 was probably their download game. We have ourselves a series, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to game number 3 as Geo Esports tied things up. SUNSPARKs, they don't have that much damage in the early game. For sure, they don't have the integrity of their team fight is quite low.
Yep.
And Geo Esports took advantage of that. The Lilia pick really facilitated for a good Chango as well as the Masha and Geo Esports. They're looking confident right now.
That is the power of the Lilia. You don't even need her ultimate to threat your opponent with your damage.
Oh,
But for me, man, it was Aura who carried this
oh
game.
definitely.
Clutch shields and clutch Numinum Blast. 2,
Always,
3, 10, always there at the right place at the right time.
always making sure that put up the shield only when Renjo puts up the Rhapsody or the Death Sonata. And we saw how well Aura actually landed the Numinum Blasts.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, outside of the Kaja, there is no instant initiate coming out from SUNSPARK.
SUNSPARK.
And I think that overall, this team, SUNSPARK's team, struggles when they don't have that instant initiate.
Yeah.
They really want those Kufras, those Akais, any hero that can initiate so quickly.
As we are now seeing in the first replay, that was part 1 of this Aura shield right here. 2 minutes into the game, neglecting the Death Sonata damage and man, forcing SUNSPARKs in team fights that they don't want.
Yeah.
And like this one, for example, they're setting up for that that Mother Shocker.
Yeah.
And this was indeed the key point and the pivotal point in the game.
But you have to
where-
look at Chango at this specific moment. I hate to cut you, man.
It's alright, it's alright.
This positioning coming out from Chango is just a masterpiece.
Masterpiece,
There's
yeah.
no one from the side of SUNSPARK to be able to reach that
The Chango.
Chango. And you have to take note, the Chango was very good positioning, but you have to commend the tanks.
Yes.
Without the tanks, the Chango will not have a free game.
That is clearly the cover fire right there.
Cover fire indeed.
4-7 here at 7 minutes.
Look at Aura,
Look
man.
at Aura, man. Forcing the chase for Team SUNSPARKs. And like what you've said, they don't have any crowd controls
Yeah.
for the side of SUNSPARKs. And that was indeed the Team Geo Esports taking advantage of that, going in, diving in, baiting all the skills, and June using the black shoes to get away.
Of course, the push is just wait for it. Let's look at this. Wall charge to initiate, and they dive together as a team. This is a complete opposite of what they did earlier, where they went in one by one. The proverbial one-by-one audition, right? Against their opponents. This time, they moved in as a unit. And I was talking about this siege type of composition where you have the Masha as well as the Chango,
Yeah.
where you don't necessarily split push. You put in the Masha with your Chango,
Yep.
the Meteor Shower in there to protect your Masha, while the Masha is really hitting on the turrets.
Of course.
It's the best siege mechanics, just literally cover fire.
Cover fire indeed. Of course, if you are a